I was raised a Christian, didn't enjoy it much. Sunday school was weird. Churches were full of crap music with people singing badly. That's how it is in the UK. And I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't into it. But then as an adult, when I got an education outside the crappy education system by going to the local library and just pursuing whatever line of inquiry I had, because we didn't have smartphones and Wikipedia and, you know, all that stuff in the late 80s and the early 90s. So I just went to the local library. And when I started reading about history and culture and religion and magic and different schools of mysticism and philosophy, I came back to Christianity through Gnosticism, the Gnostic Gospels, the Nag Hammadi texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Apocrypha. And I was, because of the way I was like, ooh, so they dropped a load of books from the Bible, did they? What did they do that for? They must have been hiding something, mustn't they? And I wanted to know. I was like, oh, I bet I'll never know what they hid from the Bible. And it's like, no, it's out there. You can read it. Different Bibles actually have some different sects consider books apocryphal and other sects don't. Blew my mind. I was like, oh, the Bible's a book. And then I found out, I think I was like 30 before I found out that the word Bible is like bibliography, it means library. It's not a book. It's a series of books. So if we actually made a Bible the way it should look, it would be diary entries, poems, books, witness testaments, old scrolls, and you'd end up with a folder with different sized pieces of paper written in different languages from different periods of time, possibly by different people with very different religious outlooks. And I was like, that's fascinating. The way I was taught the Bible as a kid was just like reading this bit of the Bible and turn to page, blah, 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 and read this out. And I was like, that's boring. But when you come at it for what it really is, fascinating. One of the apocryphal texts that I really like is the Gospel of Thomas. It's very Gnostic. I can see why it didn't go into the mainstream Bible, because it's pretty weird. I'm weird, and it's weird by my standards. It's not as weird as the Book of Revelations, though. How did the Gospel of Thomas get taken out? But the Book of Revelations, which is like a bad acid trip from beginning to end. God knows how that stayed in. But anyway, it did. In the Gospel of Thomas, we see a much more, I wanted to say mysterious version of Jesus. It's a mystery school version of Jesus. This is Jesus the mystic. This is Jesus the initiator. This is Jesus of the secret sect, the mystery school, the initiations, right? And he has a line in there, Gospel of Thomas, which is, that which is within you, if brought forth from you, that which is within you will save you. That which is within you, if it is left within you, that which is within you will destroy you. I read that a few years ago, and I think about that line from the Gospel of Thomas 4 or 5 times a week, every week since then, which is a lot. And when I think about it, I'll be thinking about it for a while. And I usually think about it around subjects that are quite important, like people's life path, like my fate, other people's fate, the rules by which they live their lives and how they get where they're going and what shows up in their lives. And what it implies is that you're born with a purpose. Now, don't take it as literally true. One of the major maladies of our time is we've lost the ability to see things as either poetry or allegory or literary, like scientific truth. And in trying to make everything absolute scientific truth, we stamp on a lot of poetry. I don't know who said it. It was in the Sufi tradition. And I think it might have been Rumi. And if it wasn't Rumi, I'm sorry. But sometimes with flowers, there was an allegory drawn or a metaphor that was like poetry and mysticism and flowers. And it's like you let the flower open and then you breathe in the scent. And that's what poetry should hit like. And a lot of religion should hit like poetry. A lot of these texts should be taken non-literally. Because if you make it literal instead of allowing you to draw your own conclusions, it becomes dogma, it becomes stale, and it leads to torture chambers and burning people at the stake through a series of, well, you're intelligent people, you can figure out how for yourself. If you stop leaving people to draw their own conclusions, you force the conclusion on them. If they say, I don't like that conclusion, I want another one, what can you do? You have to pull their teeth out. I mean, it's the only way. They have to have the same conclusion as you, otherwise, my God, what would happen? The world would surely fall apart. So I don't know whether people are born with a purpose. I don't know whether they are. But I can say this. People do have something inside of them. Everyone does have something inside of them. Were they born that way or did it develop? I don't know. And if they express the thing that's in them, they're better, they're calmer, they're happier, they're more tuned in. It doesn't matter how long they're living, because the life that they do have, they're enjoying and they're glad to be here. People who have something inside of them and it's not brought forth, and it's like a trapped energy inside of them that rots and corrupts over time, they're miserable. And they want to make other people miserable. And they kind of bloat with that trapped potential. And they get sick and they get toxic with that trapped potential. So whether it's literally true or not, what we could do is choose to live as though it might be true. And then ask ourselves a question. What is it that I have within me? If I did have a life's purpose, what would it be? If I did have a message or something that I'm supposed to contribute, what would it look like? What could it be? And then you could look at what already makes you happy, what already makes you feel connected, what already makes you feel like you're contributing, and work backwards and go, oh, when I teach, I feel like this. When I do this, I feel like this. When I do that, I feel like that. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe that's what's within me that should be brought forth from me, because that which is within me, if it's brought forth from me, could save me. Have a think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and for your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Cheers.